Hey guys, so today I'm going to be sharing with you everything that we did not need for our baby. Every mom, dad, parent has a different idea of what they do and don't and will not need for their baby. These are just as things that we bought for ourselves or have been gifted to us. So keep that in mind when you're watching this video. You may agree with me, you may not, but thought I'd share anyway, so let's get started. So the first thing is swaddle blankets. I know you guys are probably like, Michaela, swaddle blankets are essential. But for us, we just did not need them, and we have so much more in our closet. We have about 10 more in there, and it's just, they've just been sitting here for over a year, never being used. I never liked the idea of swaddling because they're cramped up in the womb for so long, and it's like once they're out, I wanted my baby to just stretch out. I know people say to do it because it's a comfort thing, it soothes them, blah 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 blah. But for my daughter, it just aggravated her. We'd swaddle her, she'll break it out, tuck her back in, you know, do the little wrap thing, wrap her up like a little burrito. She'd kick out or she'd poke out, you know, it was just a waste of time. And my boyfriend would always try and swaddle her. He thought it was the thing to do, and it just caused a lot of frustration because she wouldn't stay in it. So he'd wrap her up tighter, and it just caused a lot of unnecessary stress. It was hard for us to get her swaddled. She didn't like it either from the very beginning. And like I said, swaddle blankets weren't something that I wanted her to have. It's not something we purchased. None of these right here or any of the swaddle blankets in the closet have been purchased by us. Other people have gifted them to us. I was very open about it. Like, look, we don't want any swaddle blankets. But as you can see, ended up with a lot of them because it's just, like I said, it's just the thing that everybody thinks to do. Everybody's like, oh, you have to swaddle, 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 swaddle. And it's like, Number 2 is another big one, a little bit of controversial one, pacifiers. This was another thing that I was very open about from the beginning. I was like, look, I'm not down for pacifiers. I don't want to stick a pacifier in her mouth. If she's crying for a reason. If she's crying, there's a need that isn't being met, and I want to meet her needs so that way she doesn't have to cry. I don't want to stick a pacifier in her mouth just to shut her up and just keep her calm. And I just didn't want to create that habit of our daughter needing pacifiers to relax and soothe or go to sleep at night to the point where babies start to rely on it. I guess this just depends on how often the parents are giving it to the child. But it was just something I just didn't want to introduce it to her. I didn't want to use it, and I told everybody, you know, when everybody's like asking me when I was pregnant, like, what do you want for the baby? What do you guys need? What's on your registry? Blah, 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 blah. And we're like, well, I know what we don't want, and pacifiers was a big one. We said no pacifiers, but we ended up with 9 of them, and we've never used them. Another thing is squeaky toys or teethers with holes in them. This one is one of her bath toys. I don't know if you could see, it has a little hole in the mouth, but toys like this just, yeah, something's in this one. I got this one from the bathtub. This one might need some inspecting, but we've had a few of them where I would pick one up and bugs like cockroaches would just come out of it. We'd cut one up. One time we cut one of her teething toys in half, and just mold was just all inside it, dead bugs and everything. This is just one of those things that they're a waste of money because you have to throw them away after a short amount of time anyway because they just get ruined, and it's just, I don't know, they're just disgusting, and we could very easily do without these. Now the next one is a wipe warmer. I didn't like the idea of wipe warmers because I just didn't like the idea of something needing to be plugged into the wall at all times, just wasting money and energy, and you know, I don't know, it just seemed like such an unnecessary thing. Like, what's wrong with a regular wipe, you know, and just having to buy a random box to stick the wipes in, it just didn't make sense to me. But we were gifted one when Amelia was 3 weeks old, And so because we had one, we started using it. She didn't really care whether we wiped her butt with a warm wipe or a cold wipe. And also too, a lot of times it just became so much of a hassle because you would stick your wipes in this warmer and it would get them all hot, right? Well, what it would do is it would dry them out. And people say, well, oh, just put a little bit of water in it. And it's just like, I just want to be able to pull a wipe out and wipe her butt. Like, I don't want to have to go through this whole hassle of wipe warmers. Like, it just didn't make sense to me. We've only used her wipe warmer a few times, and we unplugged it and it just sits in her room collecting dust. We don't use it. The next one is a passive feeder. This thing right here, I just thought this was such a cool idea. It's called the Passidose. What it is, I don't know if you could tell, but like when you're giving your child medicine or gripe water or just any sort of liquid, I guess, that you're trying to feed your child. So you get this, you know, you get it out, put this little thingy-majig on it, and they suck on it like a pacifier. I don't know if you can see it, how it's kind of shaped, or if you can see the little tube in there. But what you do is you squeeze it and they suck it out. They're chewing on it like a pacifier to make feeding them medicine or gripe water more, I got a hair, easier. But the first time it worked like a charm, and I was like, oh my gosh, this was such a great investment. Because before, when we were just using one of these, it would leak out her mouth, it would get everywhere, she wouldn't really swallow it, so it was just made so much more of a mess. But we give her this. First time it worked absolutely amazing. The next few times and just every time after that, it just, I don't understand what happened, but she will not, I don't know if it's the whole pacifier part, because like I said, we don't give her pacifiers, but she just would not suck on it. She wouldn't slurp it up. If we tried pushing it to help it along, it just ended up coming out her mouth anyway. It's just she just didn't really like this anymore after the first time. So now this is another one of those things that just sits in the pantry where we keep her gripe water and all that, and it just sits there, and it's been sitting there for over a year, and it just ultimately ended up being a waste of money. This is one that I look back and I'm just like, I don't know why I bought this. It is a car seat cover. It's like, I don't really know how to show you this without a car seat in front of me, but it's like you hook it up and it just drapes over the car seat, I guess, for when your baby's napping or whatever. We have never ever used this, not for the car seat or used it as a blanket. I keep it around just in case, I don't know why, but we have never ever used it. It was one of those things where by registering through Target and Bye Bye Baby, Babies R Us and all that, we would get these little coupons, and we got this for free. All we had to do was pay shipping, so it was like $15, so it wasn't free. But we thought like, oh, that would be nice for naps, or, you know, keep her cool, or, you know, keep it dark if she's trying to nap. But we never used it. Originally, the reason why we were getting that was because we were just going to do what everybody else does, the whole car seat, you know, stick it in, stick it out, carry it around, lug your baby around like luggage. But it's just, I just didn't like that idea. I was like, I just want to get one car seat, a convertible car seat, it just stays in the car. So we don't even have one of those car seats that you take around with you. So this was just such a waste of money. The last one I'm going to be talking about is buttoned pajamas. I know that probably sounds weird, but the reason why I don't have one in here to show you, but I'm perfectly fine with like onesies, like the ones with like the 3 buttons or whatever at the bottom. But I mean like where you have to go up and up through the bottom and just down the leg. Some of you may know what I'm talking about, some of you may not, but what I found is so much easier is getting zippers, put their arms in, put their legs in, and just zip it up. Changing their clothes into pajamas just becomes World War III because you're fighting your child to stay down, fighting all these buttons, and it just creates so much stress. It's like you wouldn't think of clothing stressing you out, but it does. So that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know down in the comments what you guys thought about this video. Did you find these useless and just didn't fit your lifestyle at all either, or did you swear by these products? So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you guys want to see next, and I'll see you in another video. Bye!